sky. But my one request, Lord, my only aim is that you reign in me again. Lord, reign in me, reign in your power over all my dreams. In my darkest hours, you are the Lord of all I am. So won't you reign in me again? Over every thought, over every word, may my life reflect the beauty of my Lord. 'Cause you mean more to me than any earthly thing. So won't you reign in me again? Lord, reign in me, reign in your power over all my dreams. In my darkest hours, you are the Lord of all I am. So won't you reign in me again?
Hi, I'm Bonnie Gilbert. I am in San Felipe, Mexico. My husband and I have the ministry called 99+1 Ministries. We've been here about 20 years. I'm here today with Chuck Wilson from the Pioneer Bible Church in Somerset, California. And we want to share the story with you about Buen Pastor Clinic here in San Felipe. When we first came here, we were assigned to that clinic with Mexican Medical Ministries following the missionary John Hall, who had actually started building the clinic back in 1991. I want Chuck Wilson, who brought the first team down here to work on that clinic, to share some of the history of the clinic and what the Pioneer Bible Church did, as well as other churches who came to help build it. But he was the first, and he came 3 times a year with his mission team from Pioneer to work on this clinic. So, Chuck, this is Chuck Wilson. He knows more about San Felipe than we do. And so I'm going to ask Chuck some questions, and he's going to fill in some of the blanks about Buen Pastor Clinic here in San Felipe. Chuck, when you first came to San Felipe in 1991, what was your mission team like, and what did you do?
Well, we were, John Hull wasn't even here at that point. There was another missionary whose name I can't remember. I had told the team that we were going to go to Mexico, and then we had to figure out where we were going to go in Mexico. And a friend in our church, Jesse Vasquez, knew something about Mexican medical. And so he told us about that, and we said, well, let's start with that. And he said, well, that's in San Felipe. And I said, where's San Felipe? And so our pastor, Rob Langford, decided that we weren't going to do too well if he wasn't along. And so he came along, and I don't know, there must have been 10 or 12 of us. Most of the kids were, well, the kids were all high school kids, plus Rob and I. We got into we got into San Felipe after some missed roads and so forth in Mexicali and driving around. And we got into San Felipe, and we suddenly realized, well, we don't know where this clinic is. We don't know where this is. And then we got to thinking, we don't We don't know if anybody else knows because this is all brand, we knew it was a very new kind of thing. And so Jesse starts asking around as we drove into San Felipe. We had our first God sighting because as Jesse started asking people in town as he saw them on the street, one of the first people he saw said, "Oh, I know where that is." And he directed us to the clinic, or what was then the clinic site. And we walked in, and there was a 40-foot trailer. That was it on that corner property. And we identified ourselves, and so our job they wanted us to do our job for the week, to lay the cement concrete floor for a waiting room for the future clinic. And we did that. We accomplished those tasks. And I can remember saying to the team, well, and it was a very, we didn't know anything about dehydration and not drinking enough in the heat, because this was in June. And so I remember I had the kids meet us. We met together one morning before we left, and I said, well, what do you think about the future? And I honestly thought that they were pretty much going to say, let's forget this, because it wasn't a comfortable, it was a very awkward place to be. It was all new to us. And to my great surprise, they all said, oh, we want to come back. And I said, okay. And so we came on home. We got home in one piece. And that's the way it started.
Okay, so you started with just an empty lot with a 40-foot trailer on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chuck, how many times a year did you come down to work on the clinic?
Probably, if I remember, we used to come down about twice. We come down Easter week. We come down at Christmas.
When you're adult.
Well, we pretty much decided that after, I think we did come down in June for a year or two. Then we decided that was just too hot. And so we ceased that. But for a while we came down 3 times a year.
For those who don't know, in San Felipe, from June to September, our temperatures can get well over 110 continually every day without a break. And for those who aren't used to those temperatures, they really can't acclimate fast enough to be able to stay healthy working outside. And so even we today don't bring groups down over the summer. But they built the 2-story facility over there for the clinic. It was at that time the only surgery site here in San Felipe and the primary baby delivery point, both for C-section and normal deliveries. We had 2 doctors there at the time, Dr. Kamas and his wife. She was his nurse and he was the doctor. He was a general doctor, family doctor. And then later on, Dr. Damas came, and he was a gynecologist, and he took over the baby deliveries and all that area. And the clinic prospered well, serving the people of San Felipe, until the government put in the government facilities here. And then the focus began to change a little bit. But it was the most up and modern facility that they had here for a long time. In 1997, when John and I came, the clinic was active. We had 2 doctors, but over the course of that 2 years, there were some changes with the ministries, Mexican Medical Ministries and Monte Moriah, and they turned over the control of the clinic to the Mexican organization, and there was problems in the way it was running, and so by 2003 the clinic was closed. And we had started our own ministry in the year 2000, 99+1 Ministries, so we were already gone by that point. But after 2003 until today, the facility basically was it wasn't used. It was sat empty, it was vandalized. Some people off and on would come in and try to work in that clinic and make it successful as a business. But because the clinic was built to serve the San Felipe people, in my heart I always felt like until the clinic returned to God's purpose for that building, nobody would ever be successful. And a lot of people had tried, a lot of people had come and gone over the years, but when we researched this clinic again 3 years ago, the Monte Maria organization wanted $400,000 for it. But at that time, that included the clinic and the 3-bedroom house that was on the property, along with the 2-story dorm facility and apartment upstairs. Since then, a young doctor that we had met back when he was in high school, back in the early 2000s, returned to San Felipe, and he has since started working in that clinic to return it to service the San Felipe people. And he has invested his own funds and done all the labor himself to paint, re-put all the wiring back in, replace some of the floors. But the remarkable part is now the facility has been divided and they are selling the clinic by itself without all the other properties. And so now the price is $85,000. And so the prospect of being able to recover the clinic back under a ministry's umbrella, it would come under 99+1 Ministries, AC organization, so it would always be protected from being resold or given to purposes other than what God's intentions are, that we feel God wants that facility used for. The people that own that property invested nothing. You know, they weren't the churches that gave their time, their resources, their energies into building a facility. But in God's time, which I think is now, it is ready to return into a facility that will service the people and into God's service. The Dr. Israel, who is there now, has no desire to become rich. He simply wants to serve the people of San Felipe beyond the care that the government facilities can offer. And so we are hoping to recover the hospital and put it back into the Lord's service. There's 2 areas of care that are lacking in San Felipe. One is hospice care, or for terminally ill people, and chemotherapy salon for those who have to travel 2 hours to get their 15-minute treatment. And Dr. Israel is also a surgeon, and so he can do basic type surgeries here, which the other 2 clinics do not have the capability of doing. And so he would be able to do the cesareans without the women having to travel to Mexicali. He'd be able to do minor surgeries that he can do here with very little anesthesia. And so the main goal is to return the clinic to God's service and for the Mexico people, and service the areas that are lacking here in San Felipe. And I have great hopes and great visions of all the things that that clinic can be used for to help the people of San Felipe. Hi, Chuck. I wanted to introduce to you Dr. Israel. He went to the high school with Toto and Rogelio a long time ago, and then when they graduated, he went to Ensenada to medical school went 6.5 years and came back as a general surgeon medical doctor. He is here at Buen Pastor, and he has been doing all of the improvements. 3 years ago, when we looked at the clinic, it was in really bad shape, and it's absolutely amazing what he has done on his own. When did you start working on the clinic?
El año pasado, septiembre.
He started working on the clinic last September. So in less than a year, he did all the painting on the outside. It's now really pretty blue. And he's painted all the inside, and he's remodeled the surgery suite and brought it up to a standard. And so he's been doing all the repairs on the electrical and all the remodels that were necessary to reopen. There's a new reception area. Anyway, he's really excited about being able to start his practice here. Were you born in San Felipe? Is this your hometown?
Sí.
He's a native San Felipian, and so his family is here. He grew up here, went to school here, went off to college, and came back and wants to serve the people here in San Felipe. We have, he has been in contact with the owner. They have divided the lots up now, and so the clinic is on a lot of its own, not including the dorm or the house that Dr. Thomas lived in or the laboratory. It's simply the clinic. The last time la otra vez tú hablas con los dueños, ¿qué es el precio?
Sí.
Es 660.
65,000, un solo pago.
Okay. The person who holds the papers on the clinic would like to have 65,000 in a lump sum. He doesn't want to accept payments. He wants it to be done. And so we are looking in hopes of restoring the clinic back into serving the community of San Felipe. But the price is 65,000, and that would give him all the clinic, the two-story building here, and the lot, and he would be able to begin his practice here. He is able to do general surgeries, and baby deliveries,
También.
cesareans.
Cesáreas.
He can do cesarean baby delivery. So that's kind of the history that this clinic has always been, is the primary baby delivery. So it would be kind of cool if it was able to return to that service for the community, and they wouldn't have to go to Mexicali anymore to have their babies, because he is surgery trained. I don't have any other questions for him. Would you like to share what you want to see happen? ¿Tú quieres compartir su visión para la clínica, para la futura de San Felipe?
Sí.
John will translate.
Ok, perfecto. Sí. Primeramente, pues gracias porque están aquí.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for
Gracias
being
por
here,
su tiempo.
for your time.
Yo creo que este proyecto, aparte de que será un beneficio para la comunidad,
I think this service will be a bit of benefit to the community.
es un sueño para mí.
It's one of my dreams.
Es un sueño realmente muy bonito, me hace inmensamente feliz.
It's a dream that would make me very happy.
Para abrir este hospital tuve que analizar los servicios médicos en San Felipe.
We need to raise up the clinic to be able to do basic services here in San Felipe.
Los puntos o los problemas que me hicieron y que me entusiasmaron
The areas that are of a problem area that need to be worked through.
para iniciar este proyecto es la deficiencia en la atención médica en San Felipe.
And is one of those is to be able to have a adequate facility for the medical services.
Uno de los problemas serios y muy importantes es la mujer embarazada.
One of the medical problems that is most difficult here in San Felipe is the pregnant gal.
Otro problema en San Felipe es no hay especialistas de ginecobstetricia.
The other problem that we have is that there is no OBGYN specialist here in San Felipe.
Estoy trabajando y veo muy posible un ginecólogo en la clínica.
I'm working towards, and I think I'll be able to successful in getting an OBGYN doctor specialist down here.
Con ese doctor más el apoyo de otras personas vamos a resolver el problema y evitar que las pacientes embarazadas se vean obligadas a ir a Mexicali.
Right now, anybody who has a somewhat complicated pregnancy has to go to Mexicali. We would be hoping that if we can get the specialists down here and be able to offer the services to save them the trip to Mexicali and the risk in being away from their families.
Vamos a evitar complicaciones graves, complicaciones incluso de la mamá donde han fallecido.
And one of the problems that we would be able to avoid is if the mother was killed in an accident or some other reason, we would be able to save the baby and not have the 2-hour trip to Mexicali.
Vamos a evitar partos mal valorados donde la persona, la paciente embarazada, pare o nace el bebé en el transcurso a Mexicali.
And the other thing that we'd be able to keep from happening is when a baby is born while they're in transit to Mexicali.
Tenemos bebés y niñas con el apodo de la salada, la ventana,
We
La
know
Puerta.
babies that were born in the mud flats, in La Ventana, up in La Puerta, that didn't make it to the hospital in Mexicali.
debido a que el nacimiento ha sido en esas áreas.
And so they were born on the road.
Okay. Bueno, otro objetivo es equipar la clínica y tener servicio de rayos X.
The other thing we'd like to be able to do is to have the equipment within the clinic in order to do x-rays
Electrocardiograma,
and EKGs,
ultrasonido,
ultrasounds.
Y algo muy importante es un servicio avanzado en paramédicos.
Avanzado.
Es cuando están los paramédicos hay etapas.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Be able to train up paramedics to the highest level rather than just basic.
Ajá. Está el básico, el intermedio y el avanzado. Nuestro objetivo es tener un servicio avanzado.
In other words, their goal is to have the highest level of training for the paramedics that they have here.
Otro de los puntos muy importantes es el beneficio de la comunidad, el beneficio en el apoyo de un traslado a Mexicali, de un traslado a la línea, de un traslado ya sea a otra parte de la Baja, puede ser Ensenada,
The other
Tijuana.
service that is very important is be able to move patients from San Felipe to the border, to Mexicali, to Ensenada. Right now, that is a very expensive adventure.
No sé, algo más que quieran preguntar a ustedes. Hasta ahorita yo creo que son los puntos más importantes que hemos tratado.
One of the goals that Pastor Israel had, or Dr. Israel has, is to be able to lower the expenses to the patients when they need to go to different places. Right now, he figures that he can charge probably half of what everybody else is charging and be able to accomplish it even safer than the existing ambulances, which normally don't have a doctor with them.
Preguntas, algo, John.
I think, Chuck, we have the perfect doctor to be able to begin a new era for the Buen Pastor Clinic. And I'm really excited that he has come back into our life. And with his vision for the San Felipe people. Keep us in your prayers, and anything we can do to help you continue to help the clinic or to pursue being able to buy it, let us know. We can get whatever information you need or answer any questions anybody might have. And it just really, really feels good to be sitting back in Buen Pastor with Dr. Israel. We love you, Chuck. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.